If you are a power player, a challenge taker, driven to perform with a passion for excellence, a visionary with dreams for the future, elevate your life with People's Bank Excelsior, a comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you. People's Bank Excelsior, for professionals who dare to dream.
In a few moments, the news.
People's Bank Excelsior. Live the life you want.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 1:15. Here's the news, edited by Catherine Pereira, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. The President has decided to appoint a committee to identify suitable government hospitals to be used as teaching hospitals to provide clinical training for medical students. It has been stated that the rules imposed on essential services will be sternly implemented. The President has given advice to provide concessions to the state workers after next month through new tax reforms. The recommendations of the Attorney General has been received for the anti-corruption draft bill. The government has planned to set up floating solar power plant on the surface of the tanks and reservoirs. US, UK and Australia agree on nuclear submarine projects. Local news in detail. The President has decided to appoint a committee to identify suitable government hospitals to be used as teaching hospitals to provide clinical training for medical students enrolled at the KDU, Dr. Neville Fernando Hospital, Lyceum Campus and other universities in Colombo, Kalutara, Gampaha, Kurunegala and Polonnaruwa without hampering the training of the students at state universities. The committee is comprised with 12 members. State Minister of Health Sita Arambe-Pola is the chairman of the committee. The recommendations should be submitted for the development of identified hospitals. The President has advised the committee to submit a report including the recommendations within 8 weeks. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says that the rules imposed on essential services will be sternly implemented. The government has declared a special gazette notification as essential services to maintain the day-to-day activities of the general public without any obstacle. Transport, Odes, postal services, city among the services declared as essential service. He made these remarks while participating at the information of the Cabinet decision meeting held today. Minister Bandula Gunawardena has stated that the President has given advice to provide concessions to the state workers after next month through new tax reforms. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Excelsior. Live the life you want.
Continuing with more local news, the recommendations of the Attorney General has been received for the anti-corruption draft bill. Accordingly, the draft bill will be gazetted in the government paper. After that, it will be presented to the Parliament. The Cabinet approval has been received to a proposal made by the Minister of Justice, Judicial Prisons Affairs and Constitutional Reforms. Meanwhile, the recommendations of the Attorney General has been received for the amendment draft bill of aviation. It will be presented to the Parliament for approval after announcing it at the Government Gazette. New Act will be introduced to safeguard the rights of disabled persons. A committee comprised with parliamentarians has been appointed to prepare relevant draft bills in this regard. The government has planned to set up floating solar power plant on the surfaces of the tanks and reservoirs. The pilot project of program will be implemented in Ratnapura, Chandrika and Monaragala, Kiribanveva. 1 megawatt capacity of solar power panel will be fixed. The project will be implemented according to the MOU signed by the Korean and Sri Lanka. The Korean government has donated 7 million won in this regard. That ends local news.
People's Bank Excelsior, a comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you. People's Bank Excelsior, for professionals who dare to dream.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Chairman of the UMP parliamentarian Vajira Abhivardhan said that the entire people should act in the responsible manner on behalf of the future of the country. The objective of the President Ranil Wickremesinghe is to create a better country for the youth generation. He undertook the government amidst many challenges. The necessary background is preparing to provide concessions for the people. He pointed out that it is not suitable at this juncture to engage in protest campaign. He also stated that the people should dedicate themselves in order to build the country. That came to you on Main News Story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
CIB New Year Bonanza. Special gifts and vouchers available till the 10th of April. Special discounts up to 20% on bank cards. CIB, excellence in customer care.
It has been reported that the oldest third lotus pond in Taman Kadua, Ana Ulandava, Polonnaruwa had not been preserved yet. The excavation activities had been carried out in 2019. Our correspondent in Polonnaruwa has been reported that although 5-year period has been completed, conservation activities have not been commenced. The residents in the area have been requested the archaeological authorities to begin conservation activities of this pond. This is for the attention of the Commissioner of Archaeology.
CIB New Year Bonanza. Special gifts and vouchers available till the 10th of April. Special discounts up to 20% on bank cards. CIB, excellence in customer care.
Moving on to world news, let's take a look at the headlines. US, UK and Australia agree on nuclear submarine project. Asia cheers as actress Oscar dream comes true. Police drop most complaints of officer violence against women, figures show. World news in detail. The leaders of the US, UK and Australia have unveiled new details of their plan to create a fleet of next-generation nuclear-powered submarines. Under the AUKUS agreement, Australia will first receive at least 3 nuclear-powered submarines from the US. The allies will also work together to create a new fleet using cutting-edge technology, including reactors made by Rolls-Royce in the UK. The pact is aimed to countering China's influence in the Indo-Pacific region. Moments after winning the Oscar for Best Actress, Michelle Yeoh hoped on a video called with her mother, who was back home in Malaysia watching the ceremony with a crowd of supporters. Malaysia Boleh Janet Yeoh said blowing kisses to her daughter. Boleh, which means nothing is impossible, certainly captured the mood, not just in Los Angeles, but also on the other side of the world. For all the little boys and girls who look like me, Yeoh said, this is a beacon of hope and possibilities. She continued, holding up the trophy as the first Asian woman and only the second woman of color to be honored as Best Actress in the award's 95-year history. Complaints about police officers' treatment of women were highly unlikely to result in action according to new police data for England and Wales. The National Police Chiefs Council says 9 in 10 complaints were dropped in the 6 months to March 2022. It comes as the former wife of a West Yorkshire police firearms officer says the force failed to fully investigate her allegations of domestic violence. West Yorkshire Police says it has now suspended an officer. Alice, not her real name, says the experience has destroyed her trust in the police. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. US, UK and Australia agree on nuclear submarine project. Asia cheers as actress Oscar dream comes true. Police drop most complaints of officer violence against women. Figures show. That ends world news.
Development news.
Measures will be taken to develop the animal products, fisheries, small industries and export crop in the Mathura district. The project will be implemented by District Planning Unit. 3.4 million rupees will be spent for the encouragement of commercial crop cultivation activities. The aim of this move is to enhance the economy of the country. That ends economic news. Moving on to sports news. Sri Lanka men's under-19 cricket team is set to tour the UAE to take part in the Tri-Series in March. Sri Lanka, alongside Bangladesh and Afghanistan, will participate in this 50-over Tri-Series, which will be played from 15th March to 4th of April. Sri Lanka have announced a 26-member preliminary squad, which will pruned down to 15 with consideration to their performance in training sessions conducted prior to the tournament. That ends sports news.
Seneha Sedayada from NSB. NSB is proud to present the NSB Hapan account with a deposit of 2,000 rupees for all children born in March 2023 from NSB.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Union Pay International recently announced that it has signed a cooperation agreement with Sri Lanka's national payment network Lanka Pay. It's the first time that Lanka Pay is directly working with a card scheme on QR payments. Accordingly, member banks and finance companies of Lanka Pay who provide the unified Lanka QR payment service will be able to accept payments via Union Pay app at Lanka QR merchants island-wide. That ends business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank.
Seneha Sedayada from NSB. Commemorating International Women's Day and their 51st anniversary in March, NSB is proud to present the NSB Hapan account with a deposit of 2,000 rupees for all children born in March 2023. Enjoy a host of benefits throughout March. A tribute to motherhood and our future generation from NSB.
Economic news, courtesy of
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
5,000 Cash Awards of the Jaya King Mahajana Sambata was conducted at the Western Province Aesthetic Institute. The Cash Awards value more than 15 million rupees was distributed among 616,482 winners. In addition, motorcycles, bracelets and gold coin were also provided as the additional prizes for the winners island-wide.
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LONC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
weather report.
Several spells of light showers may occur in eastern and Ubur provinces and in Polonnaru and Matare districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in western, Sabaragamba, northwestern and southern provinces and in Kandy and Nuwara districts during the afternoon or night. That ends weather report. To wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. The President has decided to appoint a committee to identify suitable government hospitals to be used as teaching hospitals to provide clinical training for medical students. It has been stated that the rules imposed on essential services will be sternly implemented. The President has given advice to provide concessions to the state workers after next month through new tax reforms. The recommendations of the Attorney General has been received for the anti-corruption draft bill. The government has planned to set up a floating solar power plant on the surfaces of tanks and reservoirs. US, UK and Australia agree on nuclear submarine project. With that, we wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka.